Hi YouTubers, thanks for looking in. I haven't done a salt marsh from Essex. I used to do them, some years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, even longer. Just a simple coastal scene. I love salt marshes, and I was thinking of around Alresford Creek, but whatever I do, I shall make up. It'll just be based on memory, really. I do use my previous photographs of all my demonstrations uh, for making new paintings. I'm not one for going out and doing it plein air. No, not for me. But I take my hat off to those brave souls that do. I'd much rather sit in my studio with a cup of tea, cup of bottle, something where I'm master of my own little world. Now I'm using a bit of the Winsor & Newton. I've just ordered a load from Ken Bromley, not this one. This is the wonderful Winsor & Newton paper, which we can't get anymore. But I phoned up Ken Bromley, and the nearest I've got to it is Saunders £90 rough. But this Winsor & Newton is very porous, and it takes some drying with a hairdryer, but it's well worth it. But we can't get it, so I'm hoping that the 80 sheets that I've just ordered from Ken Bromley will do a similar sort of thing. Because as the paper croggles, you can see it's buckling up here and there. So all we do is just reclip it, nice and tight. Pull that little one out. I just keep doing it. And eventually, as the paper dries, it will stay perfectly flat, and it's a beautiful thing to work on. I just really do hope that the Winsor & Newton, well, this Saunders, the new Saunders, will work out well. 80 sheets, well, lovely. Something to look forward to receiving before Christmas. So I hope you, one or two of you, do go on my Patreon channel and subscribe, because all this does cost money, a lot of money. When I think of what I've spent on it, although I would do it anyway, wouldn't I? But it would be nice for one or two of you to help out with the expenses of all the materials. That's the end of the plug for Patreon. Right, so I'm just going to put a sky in. I like my my grey skies, which we've got in great quantities at the moment. So let's just get some colour on there. Well, when I say colour, I don't mean mud from there. Right, the last two paintings I think I've done for you have been knife paintings, which is my favourite way of painting. Right, let's have a bit of what did I see in the sky this morning? I saw a bit of sienna, burnt sienna, just here and there. Just the light coming in the sky, and then I've got the nice light red and ultramarine. I might use up my tube of Jackson's Artist Quality Ultramarine just to make this one slightly more solid. It's a little bit weak, the ultramarine in the Cotman. I'm not sure if it used to be or what, but let's get these salt marshes, the water in. See, this paper does, let's just take that brightness down a little bit. Well, that exposure. I've got the overhead spotlights on, well, spots. They're LED. They're rated. Oh, come on. 100 kilowatt, 100 watts or kilowatt. Need a power station. So let's try that. And they use about 12 kilowatt, 12 watts each, and there's two of them. So for less than a 30-watt light bulb, which is about very weak, isn't it? You get a lot of lights. These LEDs, all those wretched things we did have, the halogen, was it halogen? The ones with the wiggly filament, like neon. But now I've got this board at about 20 degrees, and you can see already that the light red and the ultramarine blue are separating, and you get that lovely effect. That's not me, that's the paper, and that's this wonderful paper. You will get it on the cheaper Fabriano £130 studio paper, but I like that. I quite like that. I'm just going to admire that because it's all downhill now to ruin. It will dry a lot lighter, but it shows that there's rain sort of coming out of that cloud, and I will want to put some trees in here. I remember my walks along Arlesford Creek towards Wivenhoe, where you had these lovely trees on just above the waterline, and on the waterline you had all the samphire, which we used to pick. Lovely, lovely. That's my cup of tea finished. Right, okay, so I'm going to dry that off now. So I'm going to try to mute the sound. Bear with me. I don't know if it actually does mute it. It's on the Logitech. All right, mute. Right, I'm mute. I hope that did mute to some extent. At least take the sting out of the hairdryer. Now that's not quite dry. It's very, as I say, this paper is very porous, but very, very lovely. Now I'm going to use, what am I going to use? I've got a number of hakes here. I've got 4. I've got the Ron Ranson. I've got the Ron Ranson medium hake. Love that. I've got a couple of Frank Clark's hakes. I've got the large one, which I do like. I must say, I do like that one. And the Frank Clark's medium hake. I could use both of those, but basically I sort of show the Ron Ranson method I always have. I've been not following him or copying or anything, but his method that he introduced over 30 years ago, when I got really interested in painting but wasn't getting anywhere. And Ron Ranson came along with his book and a video, and the video was circulating in my art club at the time, and I borrowed it. It was life-changing. It showed a way of painting with large brushes. You can't fiddle with a large brush, where so many members of the art club were fiddling away with small sables, trying to do big skies, but this brush changed. Not this particular one, but a similar one. This is a development from the original one. Right, now we're going to knock up some blue, blue, a bit of Payne's grey, a bit of ultramarine, just to show a little bit of going towards. I'm making this up. It's only a guesswork, but we want to get some coast and warm it up as we come along. To put a little bit of that in. Now that's just a bit of ultramarine and Payne's grey. Going off into the distance. So what I like about this brush is that it's got a sort of a beveled edge to it. Don't go over too far. Right, now we can warm that up. We'll have a bit of sienna with a bit of that blue as we're coming further round into the into this bit here. Because this might be a thin piece of paper, but my word, it's got some tooth on it, look. And it's great for the old dry brush. I'll go over this later when it dries a bit, because I want to bring some of that tree over that blue bit. Well, let's have a bit of cad yellow in there. We've got to do some salt marsh around there. Okay, coming around a bit warmer. Might have to use a smaller one. Bit of green with a bit of Payne's grey. Right, let's get some nice autumny colours in the top of that. Now I've got shadow to put in and all that sort of stuff, usual stuff. We don't want any patterns. So we've got C coming across here, so we'll dry brush that. I can only approximate the grasses. Then we'll have some solid land here, so we'll have some sienna, a bit of burnt umber. We'll have rock, not rock, no rocks, it's just mud down here. Essex. Look how flat that paper is. Look. Fantastic stuff. Right, I want to just get that a little bit left right. Yeah, that's okay. This shows up. I want these lovely colours, these autumny colours in here to show, but I'm going to dry that in a minute when I've done some of this foreground here. It takes a little bit of time because of the roughness. It's absolutely superb. Look, good process. My wife's gone out. Gone out to lunch with the girls. I can add detail to this. Oh. when it dries off. Whoops, go away, Dave. There's like a dike along behind this, behind where I'm painting, not literally, to keep the any high water away from the salt marshes behind. This is all very near Colchester, I think, England's oldest city, is it? The Romans came into Donham or something like that. Right, this is a good dry in a minute. I'll change the brush. Some more of this Payne's grey, very useful colour. It mixes beautifully with burnt sienna. Give a sort of almost black, but warm. Okay, right, hairdryer. I've got next to me. I can't show it to you because I can't swivel the camera sort of fixed. But on my right, I've got. You've seen my photographs of my studio. You can look on Patreon. I might put one on the latest arrangement, or make it public later. I inherited, well, picked up outside someone's house a few weeks ago, an unused bench, a workbench, like a wooden version of a workmate, and I've adapted it to take a table made out of a lump of plywood. That's a laminate, wood laminate, and on it I've got my tray, my palette. I've got my laptop, and I've got a little my little tablet. All on my left. Now we've got to detail that. We've got to put some dry brush in there as well. So let's just get the old hairdryer. Bear with me. Just get that over there. I should remember to unmute. I've got it written large enough above my sheet of paper here. Right, now I'm going back to the large Romanson hake, and I'm just going to extend some headland looking towards Clacton. This is the Brightlingsea estuary, but to imagine rather than accept my word that is accurate, because it isn't. It's a made-up painting. I'm making up as I go along. So I want that colour, you know, the black and the blue, or the Payne's Grand Blue, but very, very weak. So we can just come along here. Okay. Let's just get that attached there. That might even be too strong. I'll just take a little bit of that out of there. Oh, I love using the hake, but you're not always aware of what the brush is doing. Almost into Felix stone there. Okay, let's let that go. Quite like that. Right, I'm going to dry it again. And now we've got the risky bit of this bit of dry brushing. So let's pull the paper, make sure it's dead flat. I'm going to use my my medium Ron Ransom hake, and I just want to put a bit of that sky colour in, or that cloud colour. No, just take the. I don't want one colour to dominate. Just take. Now let's just rehearse. So you can hear that roughness. Okay. That'll do. That's as good as I'm going to get. Well, maybe not. A bit wetter. That's better. Right, that's a dry brush. We can put some little yachts on there as well. But I'll do that in a bit of gouache. Right, now I'm going to go in and start to detail this now. I'm going to use Ron Frank's little brush here, his little hake. So we want a bit more detail in that, bit of heavier, shadowy colour. So blue and the ultramarine and ultramarine Payne's grey. And we'll lessen this as we go into that distance. Slightly warmer. I can put a few branches and twigs and stuff in there. Okay, now we want to do something in that tree there. So we want some rich green. So Payne's grey, cad yellow, bit of burnt sienna. Bit too wet. So that's my stock green. Got burnt sienna, cad yellow, Payne's grey. We go nice dark shadow. Warm. Almost like Hayling Island. Okay, now we can do a bit of detailing here. Not a lot, but let's get a bit of nice dark, really dark, rich green in here. More water, plenty of Payne's grey, plenty of. Look, I'm using really thick, gooey paint there. Look. Coming on there. The paint's in there. A bit difficult to etch out with this paper, but okay, well, we're coming to life there, aren't we? Let's get Frank's big brush now, big hake, for some grasses. Easier to do these in sort of silhouette, I think. Right, get some good rich colour in here. So some bushy stuff on the edge. A little bit of red, bit of sienna in there. Light red. I just put some light red in there just to warm up the foreground here. Okay, I'm going to dry that. I've put some bit of detail in the trees, and then some yachts, and then we'll call that done. Mute the sound. You can imagine that Brightlingsea is round the corner here, and you would get yachts coming out here, going up the River Colne. It's all the whole area is called the Blackwater Estuary, and it's very lovely. Sad to say, my brother-in-law died a couple of months ago, and we went to Wivenhoe for the funeral. It was wonderful. We had a wonderful life. He was very elderly, 87. Did all the big walks in the UK, like the southwest path around Devon, Cornwall. Did the coast to coast. It's always an out of door man. So the opportunities to going to this area now are quite limited. Right, let's get my rigger. Right, let's get a bit of dark. Any old dark. Right, this is a bit of gouache. Just put some bleached bits. All adds just a little bit of interest to the washes. Just Payne's grey and a bit of burnt sienna. Now this is just my idea of from memory, but we've had so many lovely walks here in the past, usually to the pub on the front in Wivenhoe. Okay, let's do some of the bluer ones. It's like a ribbon. There's a big hill back a bit, well above the waterline. No, just not doing very much. Just it's going off into the blue yonder. Okay, that'll do. We could put some in here, some darker bits, and I'll get a bit of gouache. No, that's not going to show. Right. Gouache. Oh, squeeze a little bit out. A bare bit of my palette. Don't get your other colours mixed in with that gouache because they will go opaque. Or at least use your mixing area and then clean it afterwards. So just bits and pieces of bleached, old, dead wood. That's me. And then just a few little bits and strokes. And, right. Oh, just as a hint of boats. It's very yachty round here. And then we'll have come here. Oh, strengthen it up a little bit. They're not going to show that much. White sails. Okay, let's have a little bit of a bird. And that's a bare bit of sky, so right, okay, that bit of gouache, I'll sign it. I'll put it in a mount, we'll have a look at it. This also is Frank Clark's really, I came in a pack of 3 for about £20 including postage, and I love the 3 of them. I really do. I don't get anything for saying that. I don't get a commission. But these are my main brushes. But I've got these gorgeous things here, so I might as well use them. Get my money's worth out of them. Okay, let's put a mount on it. Right, okay, get the blue mount. Well, there we are. Saltmarsh. My idea of saltmarsh, anyway, with the very little detail, very detailed of these little bits of branches and the sails, that they are disappearing, they're soaking in. So I'll just get a bit more strength in that gouache. And these ones here. It's there. Okay, that'll do. Clean the brush. Right, let's move the camera a bit higher. And so there we are. I think that is quite accurate. I don't think, if I take the brightness out of it, I don't think that would help. Anyway, you can decide. Thanks for watching, guys.